Hi everyone, it's Vivian. Welcome to episode 15 of Sit and Knit with Vivette. It's Vivian here and I'm coming to you on a very sunny Sunday the 5th of April here in the UK. As you will all know, we are all kind of in a very stressful, worrying, unprecedented times at the moment, but we're all trying to find the best out of things, and this is why I thought I'd just pop on and show you what I've been making whilst we've been in lockdown. We have been in lockdown and we have stayed in. Sean's only been out once a week to get some shopping, some food, but we have been spending it indoors, and we are very, very lucky to have a back garden. So now the sun has come out, we can spend it in the back garden and get some fresh air, and we appreciate that not everybody has that opportunity. But we're doing the best we can, we're muddling through, and I'm just so grateful to have my crafts to keep me company and to keep me occupied, otherwise I think I would probably go insane. But on a happier note, as you can see, I have some finished objects, and I also have a co-host. This is my glamorous assistant Polly, and she'll be here to show you some of my finished objects. So you might be wondering why she's called Polly. Well, that's because, don't tell her, but she's made out of polystyrene, so I thought that was a nice name for her. But she will probably be here most episodes just to model some of my finished objects. So first of all, for those of you that are new, and I have had some new subscribers, and we've gone over the 300 mark, so thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Hello and welcome. This podcast is my monthly podcast where I just talk about what I've been making over the past month, what I've currently got on my needles, or what I might be sewing, anything like that, and what plans I've got for the forthcoming projects. So hello to any new viewers, and hello and a very welcome back to any of my existing viewers, and thank you for sticking with me over the 18 months that you have done so. Like I said, I did say that we would have a giveaway when we reach 300, and we will do, but what I will do is I will hold off doing that until we're able to get out to post things more frequently. I have been gifted a couple of prizes, a project bag from the lovely Davina of Little Workroom Crafts, but she is also in isolation, so we're going to hold off doing anything until I'm able to get a nice package together and post to you. So I will draw that giveaway in the next couple of episodes when we have a better idea of how long we're all going to be stuck indoors, or not, as the case may be. But it's for our own safety, so I shouldn't really complain. So on a lighter note, my first finished object is, as you can see, what I'm wearing. So this is my drift top, and it's a faded one, so I shall stand up and you can see it. So here you can see it fades down, and I will put a picture of me wearing it over there, or over there, I'm not sure which side it will come in. So this is the drift top, and I cannot remember who it's by, but I will put the name below, and it's knitted out of chromatic yarn. So the top one is Merry Christmas, the middle one, which has got the heavily speckled on, is Abominable Gingerbread Man, and the bottom one, which is the solid tonal brown, is something autumnal, and they're all by Hannah of Corner of Craft, who is the dyer behind Chromatic Yarns. And all of the yarns are dyed with the names being based around Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, really pleased with this. I might have to take the arms out because they are a little bit tight, but I think they might stretch. But then I have slightly wider bingo wings than most people, so that's probably it. The neck sits beautifully. I'm really happy with the neck, and I just did the eyelets down to here. You could do it all the way down, but I decided to do it just for this. But it's going to be a nice summer top, and it's ideal for a day like today. So that's my first finished object. My second finished object is being modelled by the lovely Polly Pole, and that is the test knit that I've just completed for Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast, and this is her Igneous sweater. So this is done on a fingering weight, and again, this is yarn by Hannah of Chromatic Yarns, and this is her Spirit Guardians colourway. And I asked her, this was the yarn was one of my birthday presents, because Sean asked me what I wanted, so I ordered some hand-dyed yarn off of Hannah, and this is what he's turned into. So as you can see, it's actually knitted top up, and it's got this very heavy patterning at the bottom, that as you go up it fades, and then you've got a stocking stitch section at the top, and then just stocking stitch on the sleeves with cuffs and that. It was a lovely test knit. I really enjoyed doing it. The pattern is very, very well written, as are all of Mina's patterns, and I will post a picture of me here or there wearing it, so you can see we did take some photos in the garden yesterday because it's the first opportunity with the sun out. So that's my second finished object. My third finished object is a shawl, and this is my Kingfisher shawl, which is a pattern of my own design, And this is one that I started when I went to the knitting retreat with Suffolk Socks in 3rd week of February. And I wanted something that I could cast, because it's mainly garter stitch, that I could just sit and knit whilst chatting and enjoy myself. And I've now finished it. So this is it here. I have a picture of it on the model. So you can see it's a asymmetrical shawl. I have done the ends in, but I haven't blocked this one yet because it's going to have a blocking party out in the sunshine this afternoon when I finish recording this. And the colourways that I use, the speckled colourway is Kissing in the Back Row, again by Julia Suffolk Socks, and it's under her Yarn Tart brand. And then I finished it off with a coordinating grey, which is called Ordinary World, and that is by Ellie of Craft House Magic. And yeah, it's really, really lovely. Both these yarns are beautiful to work with because they're on the cashmere merino nylon bases. And I really picked the grey because I thought it went so well, and I just like faded it in with the top colour. So I'm really, really pleased with how that come out. And I've got at least 60 grams of Ellie's left over, and I'm thinking of doing another one of these because I've also got I had Ellie's 12 days of Christmas advent this year, which is all little minis, and I'm thinking with the grey as a baseline with the minis, I could then do striped versions of this for in the summer with a short sleeve. I don't know yet. I mean, I might just do it without the eyelets, I might do it with the eyelets, I don't know, but I kind of want some more of these to wear during the summer because they're going to be ideal because they're nice and light and cool. So that's all of my finished objects on the knitting side, but I do have another finished object on cross stitch. Just put it there. So you may remember ages and ages ago that I was cross stitching a sampler to go in my craft room. I've now finished it. I haven't framed it or anything, I've just literally finished doing the cross stitch. So this is it here, as you can see. So if I move it a little bit closer you can have a better look. This was really, really enjoyable to do. I did a lot and then I kind of put it to one side for a while, and then I thought, no, I'm going to do half an hour or an hour a day, and once I've done that I really did crack on and managed to get it finished. So I'm really pleased with how quickly I finished that now. Really pleased with how it's turned out. I've just got to find a nice frame for it, which obviously can't get out to do at the moment, so I might have to put that on hold, and then it's going to go and hang in my craft room. So that is all my finished objects. I do have some objects that are like 3/4 finished, and I'll show you them now. These are 3 pairs of socks that just need to have the heels put in. So you may remember that this pair, which I showed you last time, where I'd put one heel in at the retreat and I'm still yet to put the other heel in. I will do it, but I've been obsessed with knitting something I'm going to show you in a minute, and I just haven't stopped, and everything's been put to one side while I've been knitting on this top. The second set are my car socks that I talked about that sit in the car. So they are now a tube, and again they are just waiting to have the heels put in. And my third set was the second project that I took to the retreat, which is this set here. And again, we're only literally waiting on heels, so I might have to have a day of just putting heels in socks. The yarn for this is called Espadrille, and it's a Yarn Tart colourway, and it's one part of her socks in a box range. So these comes in an actual box, and it's got a hole at the back of the box so you can actually pull your yarn out, so you can leave it in the box and then just work on it using that method, so you haven't got to worry about balls going missing or cats getting hold of knitting balls, which is one that I occasionally have to worry about. But those are 3/4 finished objects, I think I'd call them. But now let's go on to whips, and I've only got 2 whips. I've only got 2 whips on the go at the moment because I've become obsessed with knitting something, which is not this one, but I'll show you that one next. So the first one is my Macaulay cardigan, which is a pattern by Katie Green, and I started it last week, but I've done quite a bit more, last month rather. So that's the pattern there, and it's not very good because my printer's on its dying legs with ink, but I'm doing it in a burgundy. So the burgundy that I'm using is West Yorkshire Spinners Essential DK, and for the contrast colour, which is just the 2 little rows thing, it's a DK, but I haven't got any DK, but I've got plenty of this Drops Flora, which is actually a floor pie, but I'm just holding two strands together, and I've done quite well on it. I really enjoyed doing it. It's a really great knit. It's going to need some blocking definitely. So this is the back that I've done so far, and you can see like you've got the grey down here, so this is just the back, and then I've finished the left front, and then I've just literally halfway through. I'm just about to break and do the split for the sleeve shaping on the front, on that right. But it will need a good blocking, because on the pattern it only goes up to 46-inch chest, and that on me is going to be probably tight, but it's going to need quite an aggressive block. But now that we're getting the better weather, that should be easier to do. So that's my first whip that I've got in progress. And the button, for the buttons, I plan on doing Dorset buttons, because that was a technique that I learnt at the retreat, and I'd love to do some more. So I'm going to have like grey Dorset buttons down the front to match the coordinating colour. So that's my first whip. My second whip is the whip that I'm talking about, that I cannot stop knitting. I just cannot stop knitting this. And I hold Davina of Little Workroom Crafts and Anita of Gaga Knits completely responsible for this cast on, completely responsible. So both of them have knitted a flax light, a scrappy flax light, using a magic knot ball method. Now I am knitting a scrappy one, but I'm not doing it magic knot ball. I've got 2 big bags of leftover sock yarn, and all I'm doing is just picking a colour out of those and doing some stripes, and then if it runs out, because it's a small amount, then I'll put in another colour, and if it carries on going, I'll go on until I get a bit bored with it, or I think it's got enough, and then I'll do the next colour. So this is what I've done so far, and as you can see, I'll split for the arms, and I'm just top of the body, and this has got lots of different yarns in it. This one here is one of my favourite ones. This is my very first Halloween sock yarn that I bought, and it's called Fright Night by Stranded Dye Works. And then I've got some little blue yarns. I've got a custom dye here that was custom dyed in Beautiful Things colourway for some exhibitions that we were doing, and lots of different ones. And as you will see down here, this is the espadrille colourway that I've just finished those socks in, and that one above it is the gingerbread, a Bonnell gingerbread man that I'm wearing here. What I love about doing this is because when you buy sock yarn, a lot of the dyeing has done, especially if it's stripes or something like that, so it works on a 64 or 72 stitch count. Well, obviously this is a lot more than a 72 stitch count to go around me, and it's very interesting to see. So if, for example, if I show you this orange one here, this one is on a pair of socks and it's a definitive stripe, but as you can see here, because it's doing a lot more stitches, there's a lot more pooling, and this, you can see it better on the back actually, on that one there. But that's what I'm loving about it. But this is such an addictive knit, I think, because I'm so interested to see how the colourways work up, especially as a lot of them are sock yarn, when they're used on a larger object. So that is what I have spent most of my time knitting on in the evenings. The one thing I will say is, because of being indoors for almost 23 hours a day, I have had to find lots of things to keep me occupied. So I've taken on some new crafts. I've gone down some more rabbit holes, as they say. I've picked up my paintbrush again. I can't paint. I never enjoyed painting. I never enjoyed art class at school because there was too much emphasis on holding your pencil up and getting your perspective, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Everything was wonky or whatever. But I love to doodle. So I've been doing lots of, like, just splashing lots of watercolour on the paper and then just doing ink doodles over the top. And I'm really enjoying it. So I kind of do those at least once a day, and I find that really, really relaxes me. And then I could knit all day. I love knitting, it's my passion. But then I think if I do knit all day, I'm going to get to a stage where I'm going to go off it. I'm really going to hate it. I'm going to be like, oh, not knitting again today. And I don't want that. That is not what I want. So I thought if I bring in some other things to do, that will really keep me going. I've also been doing lots of colouring in colouring books, adult colouring books. I got a lovely book as part of the welcome gift from Julie at Suffolk Socks Women's Retreat. It's pictures of flowers from Kew Gardens. Really, really lovely. So I do one of those a day. I just sit and colour it in, just half an hour, just keep myself comfortable, quiet, relaxed, and that's it. And that does lead me on to another one. So I have picked up a new hobby. I've gone down another rabbit hole. And again, this one's down to Davina and Anita. So you two have got a lot to answer for, I'm afraid. So both of them do something called English paper piecing. Now, I've seen it once before. When I go to my craft club on a Friday at Beautiful Things, one of the ladies there, Diane, she's been doing it. And it looked very fiddly, and I was like, oh, not sure about that. But I've got plenty of time on my hands now. So I've picked it up and I've done my first piece. So this is my first piece here, which is a hexagon shape. and this is destined to become a cushion cover. So I've got to do another one with exactly the same and exactly the same colourways, and then we can have a matching pair on the sofa. So that is where I've got with that. So the first thing that you do is you do all your little hexagons by putting those all together, and then you iron those and keep them neat, and then you put them onto your backing sheet. Now don't look too closely because my stitching isn't the neatest, but I'm of the opinion of it's for me to sit and put me back against, and I'm enjoying doing it. And if it's not neat, it's not going in any competitions, it's not going on any exhibition, and it really doesn't matter. But I've really enjoyed doing it. I have enjoyed doing it. I don't mind a bit of hand sewing. I wouldn't do huge amounts of it. I mean, I must admit, when I was a teenager, I made a skirt for myself completely by hand sewing because my mum wouldn't let me near a sewing machine because it was so precious. But because that sewing machine was her grandmother's sewing machine, so it would have been my great grandmother's sewing machine, and it was a very old sinner, and she was like, no. And I did needlework at school, and again I enjoyed the first couple of projects. We made an apron and we made an oven glove which we then used in cookery classes. But then the second object, bearing in mind that I was 12 at the time, was a chiffon blouse. Exactly. Doing oven gloves to doing a chiffon blouse in your second needlework session, not a good idea. So after that, needlework became a bit of a but I don't mind. And I think about my mum saying how my nan used to make all our clothing. She made my cousin's wedding dress, she made my cousin's and all of us our bridesmaids' dresses, and my aunt used to do ballroom dancing back in the days when it was like, not strictly com dancing, but the original com dancing back in the 60s and 70s. And I remember my mum telling me, I've gone right off on a tangent here, but never mind. I remember my mum telling me that my nan and my aunt and my mum used to sit in my nan's front room with my aunt's ball gown all spread out, hand sewing all the sequins before competitions back in the 50s. Now, I take my hat off to them, because to sit there and you can imagine on these big ball gowns with all the net lacing underneath, all the big netting underneath, sitting doing all the sequins on the bodicework and on the skirts. It must have taken hours, if not days. But they used to do it for every single one. Every single one. And my aunt used to enter a lot of competitions. Her and my uncle were quite good at it. And before she gave it up when she had children, obviously. But before then, they were competitions up in Blackpool and places like that, and all up and down the country. And each one of them, because they were quite high level competitions, they needed clean new dresses. But they were all made by my nan, and they were all the sequins and all the little beads and everything all hand stitched. So I can understand why my mum wasn't keen on me using the sewing machine, but like I say, I did make a skirt from scratch using just a square tube, sewed it up, made a split in the bottom, put some elastic around the top, and that was it. And I wore it for years, wore that skirt for years, loved it. But getting back to the English paper piece, since I've gone right on this tangent, it's been locked in, I haven't had anyone to talk to all day. I really enjoyed doing this, I must admit, and I will be doing more of these. And my next project, and the book that I'm doing it from, is from here, Quilting on the Go, which is another one that Davina mentions in her podcast, which is the Little Workroom Crafts. There is one in here that I am planning on doing when I get the right size hexagons, which, has it got a better picture of it? Hold on a moment. No. Which is this little one at the bottom here, which is a little pouch to put all your threads and stuff in. And I don't think I've got enough 36 3/4. No, I haven't. You need 36 3/4, but that's kind of like how you do it. Or up the top, and then you layer it, and then you put your pattern over and cut it out afterwards. So that will be, actually, that shows you a picture up there of it with, without giving too much away, with what it looks like. So that is going to be my plan to do another project with this once I've finished the cushions and I've ordered some more hexagons. So that's what I've been doing. I haven't been knitting on my, excuse me a moment, I'll just put that there. When I haven't been knitting on my flax jumper, which I just can't put down, I have been doing some English paper piecing, some colouring, some drawing, and just generally relaxing really and watching lots of TV. So I have got some future plans as well. Now that I've finished that, and I've got a couple of treats to show you. So both of them, like I say, so the first one is following on from the book that I got from Julie as part of the welcome gift, I went on and treated myself to a bigger version of the Kew Gardens beautiful colouring books. And this gives you an idea what it's like. So it's got the coloured version on one side, and then you've got the version next door to colour. So let's find you. So this is one that I did using watercolours. So it's kind of my interpretation of it. But it's just there just for relaxation, enjoyment. Again, takes up an hour or so, keeps me occupied. And I've got a new cross stitch that I'm going to do, which is this one here. This is going to be done to hang in the front room. And it's called First Violets. And I'm trying to think where I got it from. Simply Stitches, I think I got it from. Simply Stitches. That's that one. So that's going to go nicely because we've got pinks and browns and purples in the front room. So I think that will sit nicely. So that is going to be one that I'm going to cast on. Start in the next couple of days. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it comes with a chart. All of the ones that I do are charted ones. But I think they look quite nice. I've got a spot in mind for that. So that's really all that I've been up to. So I just wanted to pop on and say hello and hope you're all well. Hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all staying sane. Yes, that's all that we really can do at the moment, isn't it? Is just follow the guidelines, stay indoors, self-distance if you do have to go out, and basically look after yourselves. So that's all that I have to say this month. Take care, everyone, and I shall catch up with you all soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye.